Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Rohan Sehgal, whole-time director, and Santosh Agarwal, CFO at Tarsons Products, joining in. Welcome to the show, gentlemen, and a pleasure to speak to you. And congratulations once again with regards to where the IPO goes. Firstly, overall, if you could just give us a few details about the IPO.
Sure. It's an IPO for, the issue size is about 1,025 crores with 150 crores as the primary issue to raise funds for the company that would be used for debt repayment, for capex expansion plans, as well as general corporate purposes. The remainder out of the 1,025 minus 150, the remainder is an offer for sale. Primarily offer for sale by the investors and less than 1% by the promoters. And today is the anchor for the IPO, and the IPO opens on 15th of November, Monday, and closes on 17th of November, Wednesday. The share price band is 635 to 662 rupees a share.
Right. And with this, what's the anchor book looking like? Do we have updates on the same?
Not at this moment. It's too premature, but I think by 6 p.m. we'd be issuing something out. But things look good as we speak. Yeah.
Right. And overall, when we talk about utilization of funds, what does that look like? What is the objective in terms of the funds that the company is going to use?
So, as I said, that about close to 78 crores would be used for debt repayment. 63 odd crores would be used for funding the expansion of our new plant, which is coming up in West Bengal, Calcutta. And a meager 7 to 8 crores would be for general corporate purposes.
Okay. And when you talk about where expansion of business goes, what's the kind of, overall expansion plan that we're looking at?
So Tarsons has continuously been a growing company, and we continue to expand here in Bengal in our manufacturing facilities. We have coming out with two facilities. One is a pure manufacturing facility, state-of-the-art facility, which would be used to bring in new products such as cell culture lines, some bioprocess product lines, as well as add capacities on existing product lines, which have been top sellers for Tarsons over the last 2.5 decades. Liquid handling products, cryogenics, centrifugeware, and so on. And in terms of the business and the scale, we'd be growing very, very strongly in both the Indian subcontinent as well as our growing international markets spread across mostly all the continents all over the world.
Right. So currently, if you have to divide it with regards to where geographies are concerned, right, where is the concentration of revenue coming from?
A third of our revenue comes from international business outside India, and 2/3 come from India. And some of the major markets internationally are the Americas and certain key countries in the European Union.
Okay. And in terms of where products are concerned, we do designing, developing, manufacturing of mainly labware products, right? So again, is there a segmentation in terms of where business goes?
No, I think our key focus is labware consumables manufactured out of plastic granules or plastic raw material. This has been our focus right from inception. We've never deviated our focus. This is our core competency and strength. And this area of plastic laboratory consumables is a very growing and very large area, both in India as well as internationally. And we look to grow on our strengths, and we would not like to deviate our focus out of this very large line of products.
Right. And overall, how big is innovation a part of your business?
Innovation is a big part of our business because customers, are looking for more products which suit their needs, and times are changing, and you find more and more products, 20, 30 years back, research would go on in milliliters. Now it's come down to microliters. So we make a product called pipette tips where transfer of liquids could be as less as 1 microliter. So there goes a great deal of R&D, innovation, engineering to build products that fit needs of the Indian scientific research community as well as the global customer base.
Okay. And with all of this said and done in terms of where overall business goes right now, I think 5 facilities is where we are operating from in West Bengal. What's the kind of capacity utilization we have?
So since we manufacture 1,700 SKUs out of 65 injection machines and more than 650 molds, it's quite a complicated procedure to get a right or a wrong answer in terms of capacity. Being a company which doesn't manufacture one single product or a few products like for example, a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler company can give you an exact idea about the number of units which can come out of the facility. But for us, changing permutation and combinations in our manufacturing based on current demands or future demands could greatly change the capacities at any point of time. So reaching one, number for a capacity would not be right from our side because it's not easily, you cannot calculate it very easily.
Yeah, I think it got stuck for a second. Right. So if you have to move on in terms of capacity utilization with the expansion that we are doing,
right.
How much capacity are we looking to add?
Sure. So about 30 to 35% of our products are running short on capacities. We don't have enough capacity to meet the demand globally. So we are aggressively expanding capacities on these product lines to meet customer needs all over the world as well as in India. And it varies from different product lines. We are increasing capacities in different levels based on market feedback, market data, what our company has. And the rest of the expansion would be towards launching new products, something which we have never launched before. So it's a mix of expansion of existing capacities as well as new products.
Right. So with the new capacity coming on board, what's the kind of revenue visibility that we have and what are the kind of timelines?
I think very difficult to give a number once again. I think we've built the company with a great amount of dedication and discipline over the last three and a half decades. The market in the future looks very promising, both in India as well as globally. And if we continue with the same discipline, I think we have a good future ahead of us.
Okay. And with all of this in terms of expansion, the kind of growth that we saw in the last couple of years, versus in terms of COVID. Could you explain to us on the financial front as well, how different was it? Was it a positive growth that we saw or did we see a major impact of COVID as well on the financials?
So they were definitely not negative, but it was not positive in the sense we did not have much of incremental growth as well because COVID brought in a lot of testing and, in the country because there was two large periods of COVID, the first stage and the second stage in COVID, which increased revenues from testing for Tarsons. But we lost a lot of revenue as well because academia, research, pharmaceutical industry to a certain extent were either fully or partially closed during these lockdown periods. So there was also a significant loss of revenue. Tarsons is not a one product or a two product company with products only for COVID. We have a large basket of products outside what was used for COVID. So there was also a huge loss of revenues, which more than compensated for the gain in revenues which came from COVID.
Okay.
And if you see the Frost and Sullivan report, then you can find that the dependency of our kind of industry is about to be 60% on research and pharmaceuticals, right? And 25% dependency is there on diagnostics. So when the COVID was there, we got some kind of business from the diagnostic field. But when COVID is not there, we are getting more business from research and pharmaceuticals.
Understood. So now, how do you see the trend normalizing from here on?
See, the good part about whatever has happened and gone down for the industry is that there has been an increase in emphasis on research, testing, healthcare, not only in India, but all over the world. The Indian country, as well as various countries all over the world, were put in a back foot with this pandemic, right? We are not healthcare ready for facing such a large pandemic of such magnitude. So investments made in these infrastructure, testing, health, research will always positively impact companies like ours, which are in India on the forefront as a leader to supply to such industries and a growing player in the international market. So we look at it very, very positively. The coming years look very, very bright if we can perform well and if we can maintain the same discipline and dedication what we've had in the past.
Right. And from the investments that we're making in the new plant, what's the additional revenue we are expecting from there?
I think at this moment, it's very, very difficult because we are building a massive infrastructure where the plant would not be completely filled up. So the last plant what we made was in 2012, and we continue to expand capacities in those plants. So We build infrastructures together and then continuously keep adding more and more machines and more capacities. At this moment, it will be too premature for me to give a number.
And will it cater to the existing product line, or do you think it will be a new product line?
It will be a mix of both.
Okay. And overall, in terms of where going ahead goes, are we expected to maintain? I know we can't give forward-looking statements, but are we expected to, give the same kind of growth, or do you think it'll be better than what we've seen so far in the last 3 to 5 years?
As I said earlier, the industry looks very, very positive altogether in India and globally. There has been significant investments made in both the private and the public sector to boost healthcare, testing, research, all kinds of infrastructure related to scientific research and testing. And we see it as a great opportunity to grow ahead in the future.
Okay. And in terms of market share, where do we stand?
See, in India, as per the Frost & Sullivan report, the addressable market in which we are present today, which excludes the PCR and cell culture product line, we are about 150 crore revenue in India out of a 650 crore market, which puts us somewhere around 22 to 23%. But if you take the entire market for laboratory plasticware consumables in India at 1,200 crores, we are not present in the 550 crore PCR and cell culture market as of today. So that puts us at about 11-12% of market share.
Okay. And overall, if you have to see growth from here on in terms of the number of clients that we function with, what percentage of our revenues come in from our top 5 to 10 clients?
So we have a distributor-led model, both in India and internationally. I think the top 10 to 12 distributors account for 50% of our revenue. But in terms of end customers, who are the clients who use our products, I think the top 10 to 12 clients would be much lower than 50% of our revenue. It would be somewhere around 15% if I had to take some sort of a number or figure. But we work through distribution models and very rarely, in a very rare circumstance, go directly to the customer.
Right. And in terms of where, expansion in terms of, we've spoken about product, we've spoken about geographies are concerned. Where is the growth going to come in terms of geographies?
So I believe that today our revenue, as I said earlier, is a third in international markets and 2/3 in India. But we are so bullish about India that I believe that this ratio should not change too drastically over the next few years in the 3 to 5 year period.
Okay. And in terms of where, other categories of business go, is there any plan for any inorganic growth over here?
See, we don't rule inorganic growth out ever. We are always constantly evaluating companies from time to time. And whenever we come across the right company providing us the right value in terms of adding value to our brand as well as the right valuation, we would definitely consider the same.
Right. All right, Rohan. Thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Santosh, so much for joining us on the show. As always, a pleasure to speak to you. Congratulations once again. Good luck for the IPO listing process as well. And it's great to see, companies who have actually been nurtured over this long to come up and list themselves on the bosses. Congratulations. Good luck, and speak to you guys soon again.
Thank you for your warm wishes, Geeta. Thank you so much.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.